Welcome all. So today's topic is the mystery of Kamakhyaji's temple, that is Goddess Kamakhya's temple. So I'll be talking about it in detail because many of you wanted to know that we really want to know about the history and the basic things that why this temple is so famous globally also. Okay, so let's get started. So now first I'm going to start with where this temple is situated. It's situated in Guwahati in Assam in India. Okay, and this temple, Kamakhyaji's temple, is dedicated to the tantric goddess, which is called the goddess Kamakhya. All right, and the fascinating thing about and the USP of this temple is that it is one of the Shakti Peeths of from these 108 Shakti Peeths. This is one of the Shakti Peeths, and it is a tantric Shakti Peeth, and it's devoted to the Tantra system and the tantric activities and the learnings and the blessings. Okay, so let me tell you, all the people who are practicing Tantra or who want to be tantrics or want to take blessings or get blessings from occult sciences or regarding occult sciences, it is a must visit because you get immense of blessings and immense of knowledge and immense of energy from this temple. Okay, it's a very, very powerful temple. Now, you do not have an idol of the goddess out here. It is supposed to be the yoni of goddess which is there, and it is wrapped in a silk sari. All right, and it is loaded with flowers and fragrances and itr also. And the story goes like this, that when Sati, the Parvati ji, we say the Sati, went for one of the yagnas to her father's house, and I'm saying in this short this thing, and Lord Shiva was being a husband was punished in the sense there were a lot of wrong words and a disrespecting behavior from her father went towards Lord Shiva. She just could not take it, and she burnt herself in the fire. Okay, and when the state of the goddess was seen by Lord Shiva, when he got to know, he just could not take that sorrow and misery. And this story I'm telling you in the most layman's language. Okay, so he could not take that pain and sorrow, that my wife is dead. So he became lost in so much of grief. Then Lord Vishnu understood that if this keeps on continuing, the whole universe can come to an end because of his anger and because of his lost situation. And then he actually, from his own Sudarshan chakra, he had cut the Sati's body, the goddess body, into several pieces. Okay, and so the organs were cut into different pieces, and then Lord Shiva came into the real self, and one of those organs, which is the goddess Yoni, fell here, and that is why it is called the Kamakhya temple. It is named Kamakhya because it is all about giving birth to a child. And also I would say, if we differentiate or we actually translate the meaning, the Kama means one of the forms is love making also into this section. Okay, so that's how Kamakhya temple, the main thing out here is the yoni of the goddess which is there is no idol. Okay, and another very important thing out here is that when we talk about tantric practices, the different forms of tantras I always talk about, there are tamasic ways of tantra, there is a sattvic way of tantra. Now in this temple, both the ways are practiced. So there are Bali system which is going on. Now I am not in a favor of Bali system myself, and this is a again a very debatable and a contradictory thing for me to talk about. But then yes, to carry forward that Sattvic way is where you don't kill animals, you're not doing any Bali system. You're taking coconut, or you're considering coconut to be the Bali, and it is a form of Bali in a Sattvic way. But if the male buffaloes and the male goats are the ones, even the pigeons for that matter, which are considered for the Bali system out here. So Tamasic way and the Sattvic way both go hand in hand in this temple. Okay. And the Das Mahavidya, the 10 forms of goddess Kali, is again another USP of this temple, that it is believed that all those 10 forms of goddess Kali, which we call the Das Mahavidya, is actually there, is sitting there. That energy is there. It's a very, very powerful energy, and that is a reason that it is a magnet for all the tantrics and all the people who practice occult sciences. They definitely visit this temple. Okay, it's a blessing for them. They come here for their sadhanas, they come there to get blessings, for knowledge, for energy, stuff which happens around the tantric system. Okay, now let's come to the black magic part of it. People who go through this negative energy issues, who are trapped in negative energy or black magic or some paranormal activity, they absolutely believe that because this such a powerful energy is sitting there, the goddess herself is there in a form, of an energy of the Das Mahavidya. It is supposed to be said that any form of black magic, any strong form of black magic, or the dangerous form of black magic can be removed here through her blessings. Okay, and that is why when we talk about that we are trying to do a healing for a person, or we are trying to remove black magic, goddess Kamakhya's tantra or her sattvic pujas and her removals are really, really powerful. Okay, and that is the reason that all the tantrics and all the people who are staying in Guwahati near the temple of the goddess, they are actually taking up a lot of cases of negative energies and black magic removals and all of that. Okay, now I'm not saying all of them are genuine. Of course, some of them are just there, because they're just there in front of the temple or nearby to the temple. So, a lot of misguidance also happens. But then this place, you have a lot of genuine people who have practiced from goddess Kamakhya's temple. They have taken their knowledge, they have done their sadhanas out there. Those people are extremely, some of them are really genuine as well. But then, of course, then there are two sections, like I talked about, the Tamasic section and the Sattvic section. So since we belong to the Sattvic system altogether, we follow that aspect. Okay, and our cures are also from goddess Kamakhya's tantra. I've been always saying that, but since you people wanted a detailed video on this as to what exactly is the history of the temple and what is it like, the whole thing, so I thought of making this video and explaining to you people. Okay. And a very, very important thing, in every year in the month of June, it is for 3 days, she actually goes, the yoni of the goddess actually goes through the normal menstruation cycle like a normal female does. Yes, it's true. This is something extremely informative for people. Sometimes they're not able to believe, but it's true, that she goes through this 3 days of menstruation like any other woman. And that time, the male priests are not allowed in the temple. Okay, it's only the females can go and do the normal rituals that are performed. Otherwise, the temple is closed for those 3 days. And it is called the Ambubachi Mela, which happens, and this is the biggest Mela for all the tantrics, which happens that everyone comes there for their sadhanas, blessings, everything. It's very, very famous. Ambubachi Mela, you can search on Google also and see immense crowd, and I mean the queues standing outside the temple is massive. So I would always advise that people who are going for general pujas avoid this time, because this time is more for people who are practicing tantra, and you will find the aghoris and the babas and the tantrics, all of them out there. Okay, and someone asked me which mountain it is, so which hill it is. So it is the Nilachal Parvat, the Nilachal hill, that where this goddess Kamakhya's temple is situated. Okay, so the Ambubachi Mela is something that is really, really interesting, and You don't even get hotel bookings during those times, and it's very tough to get blessings that time, because from 15-20 days before only the sadhaks come and they sit there for their pujas and sadhanas. Okay, so for the normal public, like I said, I don't advise should be going that time, but of course it's your devotion and it's your love for the goddess. If you still want to go, I am no one to stop you. Okay, it's just that for normal people I'm just talking about. Since I'm giving information, I thought let me give this part of information as well. Okay, and now what is the blessing and what is the prasadam that you get out there? The prasad and the prasadam that you get out there is, of course, a coconut to eat, and some the batashas and some sugar, sweet or something. That really depends on what basket you have taken for the goddess from the outside temple, you know premises. But the main thing out there is a cloth. Like I talked about, the 3 days when the goddess is going through the menstruation cycle, the blood which comes during the menstruation is supposed to be in this temple, supposed to be very, very sacred. So what they do is they wrap the cloth, like I said, on the yoni of the goddess, and that blood gets soaked in that cloth. Okay, and that, even little bit, just like a sample, the sample of it also, if you get from a priest or the pandas out there, that is the actual prasad. And another thing attached with this is the sindoor of the goddess, okay, that you get as a prasad. So these are very powerful things of the goddess that you get. And now if you get that, and if you get that actually channelized to your name, becomes another more stronger version to it. Okay, now those are the technical things that I will not go into. I can make a separate video on this as to how to gain more blessings and more prosperity in this whole process. But this is something that, of course, you have a lot of blessings and prosperity when this whole system you're following. You're visiting the temple and you're getting this prasadam of the cloth and for the sindoor, and of course something to eat. But these two things are the most important things that everyone wants from Goddess Kamakhya's temple: the sindoor of Kamakhya ji and the cloth in which the menstruation blood is there. Okay, and you tie it to your locket, to your hand. It's very common out there in Guwahati. Who have visited the temple, they know about it. Okay, so this is something which is very powerful. All right, so these were some of the things that you should be knowing about the temple, and respect this temple a lot. And one thing more, if you're not having a child, if there is some sort of a problem having a child, now this is not a superstition, okay, this is a belief system that they follow. This is not that I am saying it. This is something that this temple is famous for. For the marriages take place here. Couples come for getting married because it's supposed to be a place of love and good relationships, and between two people who want to turn their relation into husband wife, all of this. So this is a blessing for them to get married here, because like I said that in our text, it's written that it used to be a place where this particular place is considered to be about love and affection and actually having a child, starting a family, all of this. Okay, so people actually take Goddess Sindoor, and she is actually worshipped in the menstruation form, in the form where she is shedding blood. The goddess is worshipped in this form. All right, so this is about it, and this is the main thing that you should be aware of this temple. Rest, the timings, the days, and all of that you can search on Google. But in the most simplest manner, I've explained you the USP of the temple and the history behind this temple. Okay, of course you will get more stories on Google about this if you read about it, but this is something that I really wanted to make a very summarized section about Goddess Kamakhya's temple and its traits. and trust me, it's a very powerful temple. And another very important thing that I want to mention here, that is nothing to do with the history that you're going to find on Google or anywhere else. Okay, I am just letting you know about one thing here about this temple. If you're going and asking for anything in your life, okay, your desire, whatever may be your desire, your dream or your wish, okay, it is, I have seen that 90% I've seen that, your wishes, if it's the correct one and with the correct intention, okay, not that if you think that I'm going to murder someone up and, goddess, please listen to me, no, not that crap, but actually something beneficial for yourself, something which holds some good value, some positive value. If you ask something for yourself, no matter about your monetary terms, about your good relationship or your growth, anything, okay, it gets, accepted, and it gets fulfilled. And if you say there, when once you're there, that if this desire of mine gets fulfilled, I will come back and take blessings from you. Listen to this very carefully. I will come back and take blessings from you, goddess. Please just accomplish this, whatever the mission is, whatever your desire is. And if it gets accomplished and you do not come back, let me tell you, it is not, I would not name any, god, goddess out here, because everyone has their own energy levels and everyone is, to be respected and believed. But then there are some forms which are on the calmer side, and but these forms are the Rudra forms, aggressive forms, because this is Tantra. There is no, I always say, there is no leniency in Tantra. I always say in Hindi ki Tantra mein Shama nahi hai. So this goddess is not the goddess for that if you make a promise to her and if you do not return. This is a tantric goddess and it can actually backfire on you. So whatever you say, make sure if you have the your capacity and the capability to come back, only then open your mouth and ask for something like this, that I'm going to come back. Of course, you can ask for something and say, Goddess, please, I'm asking for this, fulfill this thing of mine. It's entirely fine. But if you say that I'm coming back to the place and visiting it, trust me, you need to fulfill that promise of yours. Okay? So this is something that I'm telling you. Don't test this. This thing is not for testing. I have actually seen people who have tested this. Oh, how is this possible? Let us test this. Everything is a, curiosity for them. Everything is like a challenge or a bet for them. Sometimes your bets and challenges can actually backfire on you also. Okay? And this is not creating a fear. This is actually the truth that I'm saying to you. Okay? The rest is up to you. You want to believe it or not. You want to follow it or not. It's entirely up to you. But as a responsible guru or a healer, for me, it is important to download this information to you, which I have. And that is about the temple and the USP of the temple and several other small things that I told you in the most simplest form. Okay. So I hope this video was some help to you regarding the knowledge and the information you wanted to know about the temple. Okay. The major ones I've told you. The rest, of course, there is no end to finding out things of the history and all of that in more detail. Okay. So I'll see you next week. Till then, goodbye.